Good morning, members of the Kummer Museum Board of Directors. We are the JJT Consulting Agency, and today we want to present to you the best proposal on your soon-to-be exhibit. Our team has exhaustively researched and surveyed the Museum of Fine Arts to arrive at our theme, religion. To start off, hi, my name is Ting Wei Li. I am a Bostonian originally from Taishan, China. I study history and political science, especially ancient institutions and the impacts that both have on modern society. I love to explore museums, other scenes in Boston, take photos, and design during my spare time.
Hello, I'm JJT, and I'm from Beirut, Lebanon, off the coast of the Mediterranean. My family and I moved to the U.S. in 2009 because of the war and have lived in Madison, Wisconsin ever since. I've always loved visiting museums, and my favorite artwork is called Casual Chic by David Bushman, seen here.
Hi, my name is Jaeok Jang, and I'm from South Korea. I came to the United States when I was in 8th grade and continued my journey since then. I have always loved going to museums from different parts of the globe and experience different artifacts and cultures they have. I love exploring, reading books, and talking with people in my free time.
The rituals, beliefs, and representations of myths and religion is paramount to examining the relationships of religion, past and present, from the ancient Mediterranean through sculptures. Our gallery will highlight the beliefs of ancient peoples while providing amazing works of art that could be displayed inside and outside the Kummer Museum. The statue of Osiris, the resurrected and mostly reassembled god of the dead, is monumental in understanding the ancient Egyptians' conception of death and a life after death, an unwhole rebirth, if you will. This particular statue has been broken and restored in the past, very much reminiscent of Osiris' lore and mythology. This funerary stele of a woman named Aristomach from the late Hellenistic period reflects the similarities in principle between the Greeks, Egyptians, and Romans, serving as a cross-cultural connection between the three groups. This piece offers emphasis of the afterlife that the Egyptians had, coupled with the designs of the Greco-Roman world. Steles like Aristomach, and with this one piece depicting an older woman, highlights the importance of all women in society. Despite a woman's domestic status within the Greco-Roman world, they still serve as alma maters, nourishing mothers of society. The ancient people's rituals and death highlights the key role women play in life. The Aristomach stele will do wonders for the Kummer Museum. The message this display sends out, the importance of women in society, has been apparent since ancient times. In fact, the vibrant colors of the gardens in the Kummer Museum will complement their religious dedication to ancient women after death by ancient peoples. This statue of a priestess burning incense during the Imperial Roman period was symbolic of the priestly class in society. The Vestal Virgins, the most famous of all female priestly classes, kept the sacred fire from burning out. The flames, the Romans believed, were the lifeline of all souls in Rome, and by extension the entire nation. The symbol of fire, also exemplified by this funerary capsule, is more than a religious belief of life. A close comparison would be the modern Olympics, in which a sacred fire would be used in spirit of a higher being. This shows that both modern and ancient societies adhere to traditions in part derived from ancient religious practices. The warm red hues captured in this photograph of a priestess burning incense demonstrates the various possibilities to create an ambience that matches the art. The Kummer Museum can incorporate this piece in a lit room, much like how it is displayed in the MFA or outside as a well-preserved statue, during sunrise and sunsets especially.
For my aspect of religious representation of art, I looked at European depictions of Christianity and the styles and techniques used by artists to present their work. This is part of a gallery to further show the contrast between regions and how they create and display artworks under religious themes and context. This is an Italian painting from 1340 AD named The Mystic Marriage of St. Catherine. It portrays multiple religious figures, including Christ, St. Catherine, an archangel, and demons. The marriage between St. Catherine and Jesus is shown by Jesus placing a ring onto St. Catherine's finger on the top of the piece, signifying her devotion to faith and Christianity. The bottom of this piece shows two figures fighting off demons, with an angel protecting two more figures between them. The scene itself represents how faith conquers evil while also protecting those who are good. This representation greatly contrasts other regions' depictions of good versus evil, which can be seen by the demons lacking in any detail within their forms. This image is titled Christ as the Man of Sorrows by an unknown European artist around 1470 AD. It shows Christ sitting among various devices used on him as torture. Like in many Christian artworks, a halo surrounds Christ's head, further showing him as a holy figure. You will be able to see this again to represent if a person is divine or righteous, an essential part of Christian art. This painting is by Italian artist Neri de Bisi, named Virgin and Child enthroned with 4 angels. Painted in 1445, it depicts an enthroned Virgin Mary with Christ as an infant, while 4 angels look on. Like mentioned before, both Christ and the Virgin Mary have halos around their heads to signify their divinity. Looking closer at the angels, we can see how they surround the Virgin Mary and Christ in a square-like shape. In this way, they are used to frame the 2 figures. This artwork uses this framing technique to bring attention to Christ and the Virgin Mary. This is a crucial technique used in Christian art to further convey importance of religious figures. My final artwork is by Italian artist Duccio de Bonisegna, called The Crucifixion, the Redeemer with Angels, St. Nicholas, St. Gregory. Made as a portable altar, it depicts Christ's crucifixion on the center panel with the saint on the panels of either side. Within the artwork is many styles that we have seen throughout Christian art. From the framing scene using the angels on the center panel, to the halo around Christ's head at the top of the piece, to the garb worn by the saints on the side panels, this piece is able to show techniques and styles that were essential to Christian art of Europe, allowing us to contrast it with other regions and their representations of religious figures.
For my religious representation of art, I did the Asian depiction of Buddhism, explaining why this specific artifact was important to the culture and why it should be displayed in the Summer Museum. This is another part of our galleries to show the viewers how Buddhism was displayed under the theme of religion. Being a focal point of meditation and ritual, the Buddha Shakyamuni sculpture was made in Tibet during 13th century. Shakyamuni is known as a founder of Buddhism and Buddhist law who became symbol of Buddhism. This sacred sculpture gives direct access to Buddha once it is ritually empowered as an embodiment of the Buddha. Inside the sculpture of Buddha Shakyamuni, it contains small sacred objects such as scrolls, drawings, and relics. The sculpture emerges a faint sound when it's moved. Tibetan artists often place this in order to endow it with a sacred presence. This unique work of this sculpture represents the value of Tibetan, which is perfect fit for the Khmer Museum. Guanyin, meaning observing the sound of earth, is nearly 1,000 years old Chinese sculpture. Guanyin is often depicted in Buddhist iconography, who is said to manifest wherever beings need help. This large configuration, Guanyin will remind viewers of the Buddhist teaching that all phenomena are illusory. Early sculpture of Guanyin shows a masculine form. However, around 7th century, Chinese began to describe vision of Guanyin as a woman. Due to this reason, women pray more to Guanyin for a healthy child. Khmer Museum should display this artifact because Guanyin sculpture continues to permeate art even today. Buddha of Healing and Medicine, Yaksa Yore, was made in Korea during Goryeo period. The healing aspect represents spiritual healing that can be obtained through charting the sacred texts of Buddhist precept. The work of this sculpture will fit perfectly in Khmer Museum, allowing people to understand the life during Goryeo dynasty, where Buddhism was a central religion. Japanese belief in salvation by Buddha of Infinite Light, known as Amida, was made during Edo period. Oftentimes, Amida was displayed for dying believer to provide reassuring image of Amida's descent to earth to carry the soul to Pure Land. This sculpture would serve as a principal object of worship in Japan. This sculpture is accompanied by 2 attendants, Seishi and Canon. The one on the left is Seishi, who is holding his hand in prayer. The one on the right is Canon. He holds a lotus to receive faithful souls. The work of this sculpture reflects the cultural impact of Buddhism, especially the Japanese concept of death, which will suit perfectly in Khmer Museum.
Taking advantage of the beautiful vista at the Khmer Museum, we considered our installation to fit on the basis of climate, vibrance, and demographics of Florida. The 3 themes, death in ancient Mediterranean, medieval Christianity, and Buddhism, are all an eclectic representation of Floridians.